Greetings, Endless Honeymoon podcast listeners. I am Moshe Kasher.
And I'm his wife.
And that's my wife. That's my assistant. That's the lady that does the things around here. Natasha Leggero, ladies and gentlemen.
I was once on a TV show with this guy who told me that he...
Yes, keep talking. No, I can't. Can you turn my headphones up?
He told me that sometimes when he had a wife who kind of like just stayed home and did everything for him. He was a successful actor.
Uh-huh.
And he told me sometimes when he's walking down the hall, he just throws his clothes to see if she'll pick him up.
Oh, interesting.
He goes just to make sure she's like doing her job because he was bringing in all the money.
He seems like a real nice guy.
Now it's too loud.
You're a more successful actor than me. Do you think that you should maybe start throwing your chonies around the house? Just to see if I fuck around and pluck them up?
So we had a fun fight this week that you didn't want to talk about.
I didn't say I didn't want to talk about it. I said I wanted to talk about another one we had as well because it's more contemporary.
Oh, okay.
But which one did you want to talk about?
No, I know you being wrong isn't that contemporary.
This is starting off fun. What was I wrong about? Can I at least have that information?
So our daughter's 2, and you for some reason have like you're a very opinionated father. But your opinions are based on because they're not based on things you've read or people you've talked to, and so you strongly believe the baby should not sleep in her crib anymore.
I think it's about.
Wait, hold on. I was like, why do you think that? And you were like, my instincts. And you go, she's ready. And I go,
to be fair, I didn't say that. I got a Tiffany Haddish DVD, and I said she ready.
You said she's ready.
I said she
and I
ready.
said, what are you basing that on? And you said, my instincts.
Yeah.
That's very vague.
That's not vague. It's specific. What is a parent if not his or her instincts?
Okay. And so then you asked the baby, you said, do you want to sleep in your crib tonight? She said, yes, crib. And
that's not what happened.
No, I'm sorry. Not crib. Can you cut that? Oh, we can't cut things out anymore. Okay.
You want to start over?
No. Wait,
it's sometimes hard. No, it's sometimes hard when you have a story with a rhetorical point meant to slam your partner. To kind of make sure that the narrative thread stays true.
Okay.
So we can go back a little bit.
Well, I wanted to tell my version of it.
Okay, you want me to shut up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the baby, you said, do you want to sleep in your big girl bed? And the baby said, yes. And you were like, I'm right. And you made me admit that you were right and made me shake hands that your instincts, just based on the fact that who you are, you know babies. So I said, okay, you're right. And then what happened? Do you want to say what happened next?
Oh, I want to hear the end of your perspective.
So then we're rocking her to sleep.
Because I don't agree with any of this so far.
So we're rocking her to sleep that night. I've already admitted that you're right.
Right.
And
you were on, okay, my version of the story is you were on LSD at the time. So I don't trust your instincts as a parent either because you had dropped 10 hits of acid. And you were like, I'm going to party tonight.
Can I
I'm
just finish the story? Crazy. It has a quick ending.
And you were breaking beer bottles over your head. You remember that? And you were saying, this one's for Farley. Do you remember?
So then we're rocking the baby to sleep, putting her in her big girl bed. And then the second we put her down, what does she say? I want the crib. I want the crib. I want the crib. She wasn't ready.
She weren't
ready.
Okay, so my perspective on this one, and that was a great story, well told. You should bring that to the Moth, I think. I don't know if I've done that roast on you before, but I feel like it works here. No, but that was a moth level story. I like the detail of saying the big girl bed a bunch of times, and the accent work. It was good accent work.
Okay, so what's your version?
I want the quib. I want the quib. My version is that the child is turned. Here's my opinion.
Why rush it?
Let me finish my opinion. No, or do you want?
No, finish your
you want to
opinion.
also tell this one? My opinion is that that you and many moms I know want to keep the baby a baby as long as you possibly can. And there's no discernible plan for ending the baby ass shit that we've set up. Like the baby doesn't use blankets. The baby uses a sleep sack because of this like fear of sudden infant death syndrome.
No, that's not why babies use sleep sacks.
Okay, you'd like to do your version. What? Why?
Because then they can't crawl out of
That
the
is
crib.
incorrect. No, that is a folk tale that you have created.
No, I saw the baby crawl out of it once when she didn't have it on.
I know, but well, okay. Now what does she do to combat the?
I put the
She had it on.
sack
Actually,
on
you're wrong.
inside out.
She was wearing it.
A bigger one.
She was wearing it right side in, and you decided to
Put it inside out so she can't unzip it.
Where'd you read that? What book do you read that in?
I don't know. Someone told me.
Or did you go with your instincts?
No, I didn't. I would have never been clever enough about babies to think of that. Someone told me to do that.
So anyway, she's in it. The sleep sacks are not to prevent them from crawling out, or it would have worked non-inside out, right?
I mean, if you really want to get into the details of it, no, because she was unzipping it,
right,
and crawling out.
Right.
So now, if it's inside out,
so you can crawl out with a sleep sack on.
If you can unzip it.
So what's the purpose of the sleep sack?
Now that it's inside out, she's locked in.
So inside out sleep sacks are to keep the kid from crawling out, but regular use sleep sacks are for what?
I don't know, honey.
It's to prevent them from choking on a blanket, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Am I wrong?
I'm sure that's part of it.
Right. So that whole issue, it ceases to be a factor after like 9 months or a year. They don't choke on. That's not a danger anymore, right? So why do we keep the baby in the sleep sack still? Now it's got this new function about crawling out of the crib. What about the sound machine that we have on?
She likes it.
How do you know?
Because that's how we get her to bed every night.
Yes, that's true. So what's the plan on not putting her to bed using a sound machine?
I don't know. One day we'll get tired of it.
When?
Well, clearly you want all that to end now.
No, I just want to go with my instincts. And my instincts tell me that as a child gets slightly older, there are milestones at which you start to take things away that are baby things and move them towards things that are kid things, like sleeping in a bed, like not sleeping in a sleep sack but using blankets, developmental things. And what are you supposed to trust other than your instinct? I'm supposed to read Dr. Spock? That guy's a Vulcan. He's literally a Vulcan.
I just don't understand what your instincts are based on.
Do you not have instincts as a parent? Do you only do things you read in a book?
I ask people and get information from people who've been through it and try to find what the
So you've never made a self-generated decision on our child's...
Of course I have. But in general...
Where do you get that from?
In general, I ask other moms about it. And I'd say like I've asked 10 moms and every one of them who has older kids is like keep them in their crib as long as they can. It's easy.
Right.
It's safe.
And I would say in general, the moms that I have observed and noticed, what their primary focus is worrying that their child is going to like hurt themselves or grow up too quickly. And I'm saying, I don't buy that.
All right. Well, I don't want to get into more detail about the workings of a sleep sack for our listeners who don't have children, because I would have turned off by now.
I told you we should have talked.
Let us know what you think. Do you let the kids? Do you try to push them into growing up faster than they're ready?
None of this is true.
I want the crib. I want the crib.
She said, I want to sleep in the bed. I go, sleep in the fucking bed. And then the baby said, I want the crib. Okay, I'll put you in the crib. My whole point is I'm not trying to keep my child a baby. And you are, and I respect that. That's your instincts. My instincts are to put her towards the North Pole of development. I'm the one that said I wanted to talk about the coronavirus, and you were like, no, let's talk about this scintillating tale about putting her in the quib.
Well, the coronavirus is not really here yet.
Is that right?
I mean, it's not affecting us yet.
What are you looking for?
I'm going to say our dates.
Oh, well, we got into a big fight about the coronavirus so recently.
That's true.
Are you podcasting with me?
I want to say our dates. I want to say our dates. So basically, we're going on tour.
Yes,
what if you want to talk about the coronavirus? I don't have any information.
Well, you freaked out about it and wanted to cancel our entire tour.
I mean, I don't want to travel if people are, if there's like a super contagious disease that you can get, you know, your chances of getting it increase if you go to an airport and then
here's what's interesting about this
abroad.
Here's what's interesting about this whole conversation. There's not much, but here's what's interesting about it. Is when it came to the bed crib thing, you were like, what? Cite your sources. What developmental books have you read? Please tell me about the child psychologist that you're citing. And other, I don't know why you became Scottish. When it came to the coronavirus conversation, when it came to the coronavirus conversation, you were like, I don't think it's safe to travel anymore. And I was like, what have you read that told you that? And you were like, my instincts tell me that we shouldn't travel.
The Center for Disease Control
said not to travel?
No, but they said you're more vulnerable.
But they didn't say that. They didn't say not to travel. I'm just saying we all have instincts that we operate on, and you choose to use your instincts when it comes to whether or not we make money on the road, and I choose to use our instincts with things like whether or not to put the child in a bed.
All right.
I don't go to a diseased travelers group to get the answers about whether to travel with coronavirus, but I do read like the articles that say it's still, so far, we're still okay to travel.
As of Wednesday, which is when we announced our big tour. It's called the Royal Family Tour, and it's coming to a city near you. We're coming to Fargo,
North Dakota. That's this very weekend.
Denver,
Honolulu. Oh, that'll be good.
Dallas, Bakersfield.
That'll be even better than Honolulu.
Salt Lake City.
Yep.
NYC.
Coming your way.
And San Diego. More dates
to be announced. And listen, we get along a lot better on stage than we do on this podcast, right?
Yes.
What do you think? Should we start the show?
I'd like to take a call.
Well, what do you guys think, by the way? Should we cancel? Should we not be traveling? Coronavirus? What is coronavirus?
I don't know.
Like, it doesn't seem that deadly. Is it just a really bad cold? What? It's like 80 people have died, and we're shutting down all of the corridors of trade and commerce in the world, and the CDC is texting me, beware of large-scale disruption to your life. I don't really get it.
Well, maybe you've been listening to too much Donald Trump.
Oh, is that what Donald Trump says?
Well, I don't know. He put Pence in charge of it. And then he said more people have died from the flu, and that's not true. Sanjay Gupta was like, that's incorrect.
That more people have died from the flu? I don't even know what that means.
Or he was saying...
more people have died from the flu.
The flu is as deadly as this thing.
And that's not correct. But how deadly is this thing?
I don't know.
If it's if it's a little less deadly than the flu, a little more deadly than the flu, I feel like I could risk it. I've gotten a flu. I never died from one yet.
Right. Well, the thing about coronavirus is that it's via surfaces. And
same thing with the flu.
But I think the coronavirus, correct me if I'm wrong, can live for a long time on a surface, and then you can catch it.
Yeah, I mean...
After the person's gone for a week.
Yeah, but what is the problem with the virus? Is it that serious?
That just seems if something can be caught that easily, it could become a pandemic.
Right, but if it's a pandemic of the common cold, who gives a shit?
I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
That's what I'm saying. So let's not cancel this tour, which is coming to a city near you.
We'll be there.
Should we take a call?
Yes.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
You know that I haven't engaged in any physical activity since 1992?
You went to a yoga class this morning. That's not true.
That's true, but part of the annoying part of classes is you have to get up, get in your car, drive to the gym, and people don't have time for all that. Sometimes I wish there was a service that could just help you lose weight and get fit at home. Well, there is.
There is.
There is.
Openfit. And it is a new fitness streaming service that allows you to work out from the comfort of your living room in as little as 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, there's 350 new live workouts every week. You can choose from bar and Pilates classes, cardio, strength training, yoga, even Get Fit While Smoking Blunts class. I'm just kidding. That class doesn't exist, but it should, and it might, because there's 350 new ones a week.
They're affordable and accessible. Some places only sell classes as a package, and often you can't make it to every class. But with Openfit, it brings those classes to you anytime, anywhere.
Honestly, I've done this, but it was back in the day. I ordered DVDs to do like an at-home workout, and I would do a workout in 10, 15 minutes, and I would be sweating. I'd jump in the shower, and I'd get ready to go to work. Like, not everybody has time for the gym or be able to afford your own at-home workout thing, so try this out. Openfit.
Openfit has changed the way workouts are. You can text our code honeymoon to 505050. You can join us on a fitness journey personalized just for you.
And right now during the Openfit 14-day challenge, our listeners get a special extended 14-day free trial membership to Openfit. Just text honeymoon to 505050. That's honeymoon to 505050 for all access to Openfit. The workouts, the nutrition information, it's all totally free when you sign up on Openfit.
Now we're going to call Haley in Texas.
Hello.
Haley.
Hi, Haley.
Hello.
Are you Eminem's daughter?
Am I what?
Are you Eminem's daughter?
I am not.
Okay, cool.
Unfortunately, she's had a rough life though.
No doubt, but I couldn't in good conscience.
Is her name Haley Mathers?
Maybe so. Or Haley Menem. I think is officially what it is. But I'm glad,
I like that.
I'm glad it's not you because if it was you, I wouldn't do this call because out of respect to the king of hip hop, the white king of hip hop.
He really is though. I've been a fan my whole life.
Haley, hold on. Could you be quiet for 1 second?
Yes.
Are there birds chirping behind you right now, Haley? What kind of idyllic meadow are you in Texas?
So, it's very nice and not windy for the first time in like weeks. So I'm outside and my children are inside right now because they're very loud. So
Who's watching your children?
my 5-year-old's watching our children.
Hell yeah, Haley. That is the good. And now
Wait.
What book did you read that told you a 5-year-old could watch their kids, or did you just go with your instincts like a good parent does?
Well, I just kind of went with my instincts. I only have 2. So I have the 5-year-old and then the 4-month-old is in his swing, but he loves his big brother so much that he just sits there and smiles at him.
So you have
forever,
a 5-year-old watching a 4-month-old?
Well, I can see in the window if that makes you feel any better.
I'm on your side. Haley, can I ask you a question, actually? Can I get some advice from you?
Yes.
When your 5-year-old transitioned from a crib to a bed, how did you decide when it was time?
Well, it's kind of a good question.
Thank you.
I decided it was time when my psycho child was crawling out of his crib, no matter how low I put it. He was getting out in the middle of the night, and I would find him in his closet, like rummaging through things.
How old was he?
He was like 1.5.
Wow.
Oh, so is that, wait, just so I'm not very good at math. Just so I'm clear, is 1.5, is that older or younger than 2?
Younger than 2.
That's younger than 2
Wait,
years
Haley,
old.
I have
Okay,
a question.
Interesting.
Did you try putting a sleep sack on the baby?
Yes, I've tried everything. I tried swaddling.
Have you ever heard to put the sleep sack on inside out so that he couldn't unzip it?
Yeah, you just got a philosophy
Oh.
bomb drop from Natasha Leggero, Haley.
Yeah. You're a lot smarter than me. I didn't really think about that at the time.
You just used your instincts, right?
Yeah.
But
Haley?
Haley,
Well,
when
and I was a single mom with my first one. So I was kind of doing it all by myself. I didn't really know these like little tips and tricks
Listen,
back then.
Haley, I respect Texas ingenuity. You shoot from the gut. You guys know what you want. You got your independence. 6 Flags over Texas. I'm on your side. Why'd you call today?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I'm actually from Montana originally.
Even better. Even more independent. We know a great massage therapist in Montana if you're ever looking
I
for
heard that
one.
podcast and I was laughing
Yeah.
really hard. It was great.
All right, so tell us, why'd you contact the podcast?
Well, I've been a stay-at-home mom for quite some time. In my mind, it feels like I've always been kind of a go-getter. I like to do my own thing and I like to work and I like to make money and all that stuff. So I'm transitioning into opening up my own business. And my husband is just he's very spoiled by me because all of my attention is constantly on my family. So I'm constantly
that's the
making
norm.
them food.
Right.
Yes, the normal thing. And don't get me wrong, I love my family. I love taking care of them. They're awesome.
But
I don't think that the transition into I'm here.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You love your family. You were
sorry.
saying. No. We had a connection
so
issue.
I just I'm transitioning in this whole working full-time thing. Maybe more than full-time I think it might be a little hard on my husband, and I don't think he's going to enjoy me being away so much, and I think he's gonna like take it in a bad way, I guess. So I guess I was calling you guys because like you've both been working really hard for quite some time, and you both have a kid together, and I'm sure, you know, Natasha is away a lot. And I mean, how do you guys sort of do it, I guess I should say?
I was gonna say, why is Natasha away and not me? I could
Both
be
of
away.
you.
I could be away as well. You know, I work
No,
also.
but she means the mother, who's the primary caretaker
Yeah.
usually.
Not saying
The
you're not
default.
the primary
The
caretaker.
default caretaker.
Wait, so Haley, what's this business?
Well, I've been an artist my whole life, and I'm going to be doing permanent, like, cosmetic tattooing.
Oh, okay.
So this is something that you want to do, not just for
Yes.
money. It's
But
like
this is Texas, right? So you're gonna be you're gonna be drawing like little teeny like swastikas like for eyebrows. Is that right? And
Yeah,
like,
you know, if people want their eyebrows done or lips done or
or like he'll be doing like little six shooters on people's cheekbones and stuff like that.
yeah, you know, I actually really like that revolver idea right on the cheek. I think it looks really good.
Right,
Yeah.
and you know, what would actually be a cool tattoo is if you if you get a male clientele, you could do an accordion tattoo where their penis when it's soft, it just says Texas. But when it gets hard, it grows and says everything's bigger in Texas. But it's like accordioned in.
Hey, I have
Such a good idea.
Thank you.
I have a suggestion. I think that you need to have a talk with him and let him know that this job's important to you, and let him know also that you're not sure yet. Like, say, I might need a month to find my footing to see what I can do and what I can't do. And, you know, like you told us, like, I love taking care of you. I love taking care of the family, but I'm going to need, like, maybe ask him if you can rely on him to pick up, you know, some of the slack until you can figure out what the schedule is going to be, because you might not ever be able to make dinner. You just need to find out what it is, or, you know, 2 nights a week you'll be able to make dinner, or maybe I don't know, you know, you just don't know yet.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm also curious. You're saying this is a fear that you have that he won't be able to cope with your absence. Is there any evidence yet? Have you started yet? Has he started to complain?
Well, so when I do bring up the conversation, it's more kind of like I'm really, really excited about it. And the vibe I'm getting from him is like he's kind of stoked for me. But then again, he'll say something like, well, how are we going to pay for daycare when you're like not making as much money yet?
Oh my God, my
You know-
husband talks like that too. He's like, oh, how are we going to...
Yeah. So
You
how are we
think I
going to
have-
like, how are we going to pay for daycare? And like, what are we going to do for food? And who's going to pick up the kids from daycare? And it's like, we will figure that shit out when the time comes.
But-
if you just like be on board with me, that'd be awesome.
Do you tell him that he's going to have to be doing some of that?
Yes, I said we need to kind of do like a 50-50 sort of thing to figure out who can do what and when, because I'm most likely going to be working late, whereas he's in the military and his days end at like 5 or 5:30.
Right.
But he's out of the door at 5 in the morning.
He's
so it's like,
he's barely working. He's just some military guy. He's barely doing anything.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's just
he's
like
not doing anything
lazing
productive.
around on the base, and while you're out here tattooing swazis on people's third eyes. Now, but you know, it's kind of typical. It's like this feels very typical to me. Like the man is, for better or for worse. And I would say for worse, the man gets used to, and I'm sure the gender dynamics are switched, but this is the most common one, is that the man gets used to him being able to rely on the woman taking care of him. And when that goes away, it creates fear or, you know, resentment or anticipatory dread. And so,
Yes.
and so when he should be, and I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt because he's an American hero. When he should just be supporting your dream, he can't help but his like evil little, like, you know, fear instinct. Like fear is like a rat, you know, and the rat, when the rat is backed into a corner, the rat starts to like lash out. And so then he'll say a little snide thing like, well, I don't even know why you do. Oh, let me just do my best impression of your husband. I don't even know why you're doing this. You know what I mean? I already got a job. I don't know who's going to pay for lots of kids. You know, stuff like that, right? But what he means to be like, this is awesome. We'll get through this together. But he gets scared and it pops out in this like less than supportive language, right?
I'm like more worried about his feelings and like resentment coming up, but I'm starting to be resentful because here I am. I'm not like a very good stay-at-home mom. I can't. Like,
I mean, you're
really
outside right now, and
appreciate-
you're letting a 5-year-old watch a 4-month-old.
Yeah.
That's what you
I
should
can
do.
see them right now, and
No.
he's in there playing with them.
Haley, that's what you should do is you should videotape yourself making very poor parenting decisions like the one you just made, and then play the footage to your husband and then be like, listen, it doesn't matter how we afford childcare. We need it because look at what I've done.
Because I can't do this anymore.
I mean, the reality is you should just be focusing on your dream and not navigating and coddling your husband's fears about your dream.
Hell yeah.
That's not your responsibility to. This guy's a fucking. What branch of the military is he in?
He's an 01, so he's an officer.
But of what kind of military?
Army.
He's an officer in the Army, and he's not tough enough to be able to deal with the fear of his wife starting a cosmetic tattoo parlor.
I'm sure that his fears are rational in my mind because he's spoiled.
Right.
Like, I spoil him. All my attention is on him all the time. He gets like home cooked meals, and I meal prep like every Sunday for his entire week. So he's spoiled.
Excuse
Yes.
me? What do you mean? What's a meal prep for the entire week?
Yeah, for real. What is
So
it?
I make his lunches on
you-
Sunday
Okay.
for the entire week.
What do you make?
Like, he likes anything carne asada, Mexican food, all that stuff.
You make carne asada for him for the week for lunch, and then put it in like a brown bag.
Yeah, Natasha's demeanor over here on this couch has gotten she's gotten quite a bit smaller from the beginning of your call. The beginning of your call, she was kind of like making arrogant eyes at me, like, "Yep, this is just what ladies do. The man can't care for
She's
themselves."
like braising beef.
She's over here. Yeah, she's over here fricasseeing carne asada.
Okay, so you make his
but
lunches.
you see, like, Natasha, you don't have time to make carne asada, and I have time to make carne asada, so that's what I do.
But
and then I'm
long.
not going to have time to make it anymore.
But not for long. You're not going to have time to make it anymore. And you're what I was trying to say was your husband's in the fucking military. He will figure out a way to adapt when his orders change. When the general comes down with a new set of orders, he's going to have to figure out a way to adapt on the fly. And he'll be fine. And it's not your job to navigate his fears about how he's going to be taken care of in the future. Where's my carne asada?
Just give him more sex while you can't make the beef.
I make him sound like misogynistic. I promise you he's not. It's been my choice to do these things for him. And then I've kind of seasoned him into this, like,
No, of
into
course,
this role,
of course,
you know?
Of course, I didn't even. It's not even misogyny, although it's like the soft misogyny of expectations. It's like any man who has a woman making carne asada for him 5 days a week is gonna flow.
That's just lunch. We don't even know what the meal prep is for the evenings.
I know. It's like water goes where water sinks to the lower ground. Any man whose wife is making him 5 lunches a week, he's going to allow himself to sink into the expectation of, like, I am a man who deserves carne asada 5 days a week. But things are about to change around here, And
yes.
I want to know what a sample evening dinner is.
Good question.
Well, it's funny because I'm vegetarian and he's not. So I actually make separate meals for everybody.
And you're telling me you're not a good stay-at-home mom? What do you think a good stay-at-home mom does?
I really don't know. My mom tells me I'm the best mom in the world, but I feel like I'm suffocating.
Well, you got to
It
get
happens.
up. I mean, I just think right now you did 5 years with your child, and I guess you do have a 4-month-old, so that might be creating some more anxiety,
Oh, I know the answer.
What's the answer?
All right, because you need to have another talk with him.
I'm ready.
When you talk to him, instead of stressing like what's going to need to be done in your absence, I think you need to tell him what you just said. Like, I feel like I'm going to go crazy if I don't have an outlet, something besides what I'm doing. And I need that for my own happiness. And I think if you approach it more, what did you just say? You said, I'm suffocating.
I'm suffocating.
Yeah, and you don't want to say, you might not want to use those words because I would take that personally if I was
Very
in a
intense.
relationship. But, just let
It's an
him
intense
know
word.
how important it is to you to, like, you've got to express yourself. And this is like a really, you love expressing yourself with the family, but, you need a personal outlet.
You need a little more right now. It's time for you guys to both have responsibilities and duties. And what I would say is when you have that conversation, you say, I want to stay home, but here's the issue I'm having. When I feel frustrated or suffocated, my sex drive bottoms out. It becomes less than nothing. And you're like, so I actually have to do this so that we can continue to have a sexual relationship.
Right.
I would love to stay home and make you carne asada and barbacoa and pollo asado.
Nothing turns me on more than like just being in the fucking kitchen all goddamn day.
Yeah, poor vegetarian having to like chop up raw steak. Your house just reeks of a cow all week.
I mean, here's the truth: is that every man who's being the act of being taken care of by your partner is a small act of being treated like a baby, right? I mean, it is. It's just like, and you allow it to happen because it feels so good to be cared for and to be taken care of. But unfortunately, your husband, it's time for him to grow up a little bit. And because he's an officer in the military, I feel like he's going to do just fine. And you just have to tell him. I would stop mitigating his fears, and just when he brings stuff like that up, like, what are we going to do about childcare? Just say something like, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there, but I have to do this for me.
And make sure he always has change for the vending machine so he can get some lunch. Maybe like
I know,
cup
right?
of noodles.
At least I can pull him money out of the ATM on the way home. Like that would be nice of me to do.
Yeah, you can get him some. You get him some Lunchables. Lunchables for officers. There's a new Lunchables category. It's just for officers in the military.
All right. Well, I think
I'll have to look that one up.
I think it's gonna go great. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, when I'll come get
your sanity's at stake.
And I'll come
get some swastikas from me.
Yeah, I will. I got a "Don't mess with Texas," but I don't think the whole phrase will fit. So it'll just say "Don't mess with." Or
with Teja, don't mess with,
don't
and then
mess.
like
It'll just say "Don't mess" because I don't have a lot to work with. All right, good luck out there.
Thank you so much, guys.
Farewell.
Bye.
I do have a lot to work with. I just didn't want to brag,
Oh, were you talking about your penis tattoo?
Yeah, I was talking about getting the accordion tattoo myself. I was trying to make a joke where it's so small that the whole phrase wouldn't fit, but then it's like everybody knows how big my penis is. You know what I mean? It's like a known rumor about me. I could get the entire Constitution of the state of Texas tattooed on my penis with room to spare. I could get all 4 flags that flew over six flags that flew over 6 flags tattooed on my penis and still be able to do the flag of Guam.
Do people get penis tattoos?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
But wouldn't you need to get it like when it's hard?
That's a very good question.
I bet you that's not a thing.
No. I mean, for sure people get penis tattoos. Guaranteed 100%. Guaranteed 100%. I've tasted a few.
Okay, I believe you.
I saw one that was just gonzo. Like the penis part was the gonzo nose, and then the eyes were on the pubis,
So there was no, that's not a...
No?
But that's not a tattoo on the penis.
No, but he did the whole fur. It was a 3D fur effect.
Oh, I really saw that cool at Burning Man.
Well, no, that was Pinocchio. Wasn't that Pinocchio?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Was it Pinocchio? Who was that? Yeah. Natasha got a picture, a very close-up picture of a man's penis tattoo. So you know.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe?
You know this old saying, it's hard to find good help these days? Well, it's not anymore these days because things have changed because of things like Ziprecruiter. Ziprecruiter, it's an online hiring platform. Hiring people, difficult. Ziprecruiter makes it easy.
If you have a difficult role to fill, no matter what your industry is, hire with Ziprecruiter. And now you can try Ziprecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/honeymoon.
Hiring is challenging, but there's a place to go where hiring's simple, fast, and smart. A place where growing businesses connecting to qualified candidates becomes easy. That place is ziprecruiter.com/honeymoon. So right now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. Our listeners can go to ZipRecruiter.com/honeymoon, ZipRecruiter.com/HONEYMOON, ZipRecruiter.com/honeymoon. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Hey Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
You know what turns me on?
What?
There's 3 words in the English language that get my gears turning.
What is that?
Milky Jelly Cleanser.
I used some this morning.
From Glossier.
I love it. Glossier is a makeup line that I was using. And
it's your favorite makeup line,
it's
right?
my favorite makeup line. And then now they're products I love. They sent me some. I've been using them all the time. And the Milky Jelly Cleanser is, I keep it in the shower. And it's a very smooth,
like a face wash, right?
Face wash.
I got to tell you, before
it's very milky
and jelly. Now Natasha's used Glossier for years, and it's always nice when we get to do an ad read for a company that we already use. She was like, "Oh my god, I love Glossier. I didn't know they made a face wash." She got this Milky Jelly Cleanser face wash, and before she started using it, I was honestly one of my main complaints about you. You're beautiful, but your face was straight up disgustingly filthy. And now it is like looking at a pearl. It's like an alabaster pearl. It's beautiful. Look at that face.
Milky Jelly Cleanser is a luxurious, creamy gel formula that makes washing your face an elevated experience.
Get that glowy, dewy skin for yourself. You know what? I'm going to use this Milky Jelly Cleanser.
You can.
Hell yeah. And I'm not going to use it on my face either.
Learn more and take the quiz to find your ultimate Glossier skincare routine. Plus, all new customers will get 10% off their first order on Glossier.com/podcast/honeymoon.
Glossier.com. Glossier.com/podcast/honeymoon. Get 10% off your order of that Milky Jelly Cleanser. Get that dewy look.
Certain exclusions apply.
Let's do some secrets.
Okay.
How about that?
Hi, guys. So, first of all, I love you guys so much. You're great. Okay, so I have a secret, and I guess, like, my best friend knows about it, so it's not, like, a huge, deep, dark secret, but, I made a profile on a sugar daddy website as a sugar baby, obviously, and I've been, like, texting a few guys, and I had someone message me, "Oh, do you do massages?" So I was like, sure. So I ended up going to his house, like, a few hours later, and I gave him a massage, but I clarified that it was just going to be a body, and at the end of it, he was, like, making me rub his, like, upper thighs, and then after the hour was finished, he was like, "Oh, no happy ending?" I was like, "No, it was just a body massage." She was like, "Oh, well, that's part of the body." And I was just like, so I laughed. Obviously, like, he paid me. I mean $150. I don't know if it was worth it. I don't know how to feel. Please make fun of me. Do something. Make me feel some kind of way over this. Okay, thank you. My number is...
Oh, no.
She wants more business.
Why did she want to give us her phone
Wait,
number?
did she say $850?
150.
And did she touch his dick?
She did not touch his dick.
Oh, because I thought it was ending like, so I just did it.
No, she said it's a body massage, and the guy, and I think in a very, very sophisticated turn of rhetorical and logical fencing, said, "Well, the penis is a part of the body; it cannot be denied." And she said, "No, I that's not what I want to do," and got $150.
But the website she went to to be a sugar daddy and for her to be a sugar baby. That wasn't a massage web. It wasn't for massages.
No.
It was a dating.
Do you know what sugar daddies and sugar babies are?
I'm assuming a sugar daddy is someone who pays for the sugar baby.
Right. It's like young women who go and basically it's like a kind of it's somewhere between a dating site and an escort site. It's like in the middle, because the sugar babies, they're not prostitutes. They're not sex workers per se. I think I'm right about that. They're kind of like companionship workers. And so these older guys will like pay for the sugar baby's lifestyle in exchange for like going out on dates, and then eventually maybe it'll turn sexual. But it's not like here's $150 for a blowjob. It's like,
so then she went over there and said, "I'll give you a massage."
He said, "Do you do massage?" By the way, I would like to call this, but she left her phone number. Can we call her next week or something and see what it's like to be a sugar baby?
I would love that.
All right, we'll have our producer get in touch with her. But in terms of this secret, I mean, isn't this...
What did she get out of it? That's what...
money.
No, but why did she didn't join this website for money?
Of course she did.
Oh,
What, do you
really?
think she did it so that she could demur from ejaculating 75-year-old businessmen? No, thank you. No, yeah, it's for money.
Oh, I thought she was maybe thought it was funny.
Well, no, I think it's for people that are like in the sex, are like, maybe I'll do sex work, but I don't want to commit to all being totally sexual. It's for people that can't quite pull the trigger.
And she wasn't even really a massage therapist.
Sounds like a no.
So she went over to this guy's house She oiled him up.
By the way,
Gave him a massage.
$150 for a massage. That's semi-reasonable.
Yeah, but why wouldn't he just hire a real massage? I guess a real massage person, a professional. He couldn't be like, the penis is part of the body. But that's like a way you can talk to an escort. Ugh,
She's
men
not
are
an
pigs.
escort, though. What do you mean men are pigs? That guy went to a website.
If he really wanted a massage, shouldn't he have like gone to like Soothe or something?
I'll tell you, okay, fine, men are pigs. Women can be a bit naive. Like, what did she think was this guy? Exactly to your point. Why is this guy on the Sugar Babies website looking for a massage? If he just wanted a body rub, he probably would have gone to a regular massage therapist. So the fact that she was like, "Oh, how could you be asking for this?" It's a little like, okay, you know.
I think we should call her next week.
We got to call her.
I want to know what he looked like.
My instinct, though, is that...
Was he naked? How did he get naked?
Yeah.
Was he like, should I get naked?
How did he get naked? He probably had his nurse, his live-in nurse, take his clothes off for him.
Oh, well, I also want to know like what she wore.
Yeah. All right. You know what? We got to call this lady.
Did she wear like her like, you know, athletic, like I'm about to give you a massage?
Should we just call her?
Well, sure. If she'll answer.
All right, we'll figure it out. Let's play another secret.
Okay.
So I used to babysit when I was like 14, and this girl, like after she would go to bed, I would just kind of look around the house and take any money I saw lying around, and I would just order pizza because my parents were health nuts and never let me like order pizza at home. I feel like they probably knew. That's all.
What'd she say at the end?
I didn't get that.
I feel like they probably do.
Her parents?
I feel like they probably knew.
Probably do what?
No, I think we need to hear the thing she said before that.
All right, let's try that again.
My parents were health nuts and never let me like order pizza at home. I feel like they probably knew.
My parents were health nuts and never let me order pizza at home. I feel like they probably do.
Maybe she was trying to say that her parents probably did order pizza for themselves because they're pigs.
I'm confused.
Well, anyway, the point is, her secret
is that she used to steal from the children she was babysitting for to buy pizza.
But I will say, I used to steal as a child too. I just hadn't like entered my mind that was wrong yet.
Who would you steal from?
My mom.
Money?
Yeah.
Cash money?
Like $20 I'd always take out of her purse.
How often?
She didn't have a lot of cash usually. I looked a lot. Probably like 3 or 4 times. Oh, and I remember once I stole money to pay for my boyfriend who lived in Chicago's bus ticket back to Rockford.
I used to steal my mom's food stamps and go buy food.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well,
pretty
food
dark,
for the family?
Food for the Moshe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
your mom wouldn't buy you food?
Yeah, but I'd be like hungry, so I'd be like, fuck it. I'm going to take these stamps.
That's
Or
cool.
I would also get cigarettes that way. I would get food stamps. I would go grab 2 packs of cigarettes and throw them in a bag full of ground up coffee beans and go buy the coffee at like 1 o'clock in the morning from the Safeway.
Would you shoplift from stores?
I shoplifted a lot. Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you take?
A lot of stuff. We used to have a game. I think I was in 7th or 8th grade, and we would go to the mall and like pick a number. And then whatever number you had to like go into that store. Like, so you'd pass like the store and you had to like figure out a way to steal something and then show your friends. So I remember once I went into Claire's boutique, and then when we walked out, we went into Claire's boutique and we walked out, my friend opened her mouth and had rings in her mouth.
What if she had gotten the number for the Bass Pro Fishing Shop? Would you just have to take something from there?
Yeah, like I think we would be like, okay, that one doesn't count, the next one.
I got busted a bunch of times for shoplifting, but the first time was I was stealing lip smackers, lip gloss.
I remember that.
I was a boy though then, and as
boys would wear it.
Lip smackers lip gloss? No, they wouldn't.
It tasted like cherry. I could see you liking that.
It did taste like cherry, and I liked the way it tasted. And a girl
Did
had
you get
it
one
on,
of those thick ones that were like really wide?
and the cop was like looking at it, kind of like, "What the fuck?" And then another time I got busted was for stealing a 5th of Bailey's Irish Cream.
So you were stealing stuff to like consume.
Yeah, only to consume.
And then you were like stealing food stamps to eat food.
I was hungry.
You were
and
chomping
thirsty.
on your lip smackers.
Yep, you got it. I actually, that's...
Chugging on your Irish cream.
You know what? Actually, the way I shoplifted was more morally forthright than the way you shoplifted, because I was doing it to fulfill needs. You were just doing it for the thrill of the chase.
I wonder why I did that. I think I didn't care. I think that's part of being young, is you just don't really care.
Well,
consequences.
We're an anti-shoplifting podcast here on the
That's
Endless
true.
Honeymoon podcast. So let's move along and play another secret.
Hey guys, big fan of the podcast. So I have a secret for you two. A few years ago, I was going through a very anxious time, and I was having a lot of stomach cramps with my anxiety, and I would take a lot of sick days because, I was just really anxious and stressed about other shit and didn't want to bother anybody about it. And in that time of anxiety, I got tested for endometriosis. And it turned out I didn't have it, but I told everybody that I did have endometriosis so that everybody could just give me a reason to not, for people to not worry about me. And I still keep that lie up to this day. And my parents think I have it. My partner thinks I have it. All my friends think I have it. And I have to be honest, it kind of feels great just having that fake illness as a cop-out of when I'm feeling overwhelmed or tired or anxious and I don't want to go to something. I'm like, I have endometriosis and I kind of, can't go to anything. But it's also gotten so out of hand, and it's been years that I've been keeping this lie around. That's it.
Endometriosis.
I thought that was like a shit disease.
It is not a shit disease. It's a pussy disease.
Okay.
I just looked it up, and it is a disorder in which the tissue that normally lines the uterus grows outside of the uterus. Oh, that sounds gnarly. What a weird disease to think you have because she said she was stressed out.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
She didn't say my uterus was aching. She said I felt a little bit of anxiety. What is the connection between endometriosis and generalized anxiety?
I don't know, but I think it is the perfect thing to say you have.
Why is that?
Because it's no one knows really what it is off the top of their head. It doesn't sound gross. It's not what's the one, what is it?
What?
That you get?
Oral thrush?
What's it called? Crohn's.
Crohn's disease is more gnarly.
Yeah, it doesn't sound anything that's kind of distasteful. You're just oh, it's endometriosis. We've kind of heard of it.
Just to clarify, just based on the lesson you said, you think that having the disease, Crohn's disease, is distasteful.
No, I'm just saying if you're going to lie about it, you've got to follow up with a lot of questions. There's not a lot of follow up when people don't really know what it is, and people don't want to sound stupid.
It's very
so
hard.
So they're just going to be oh, I'm so sorry you have that. Yeah.
It's very hard to have friends in your life that have IBS. I have a lot of friends with IBS, and you're there's always this unspoken contextual second part. They go, I have IBS. And you're that sucks. So you're shitting a lot? You have terrible shits?
Right. And then they're can I use your bathroom? Or I'm going to be
And it's
late.
a real disorder, but also there's embarrassment. That's what you're saying maybe.
There's
is
no
that
embarrassment.
Endometriosis doesn't come with a secondary component.
But it feels light.
Yeah, I have a light sprinkle of endometriosis.
I'm just saying it's the perfect disease
to
fake.
Except that when you go, remember when I had all that anxiety? It was endometriosis. And they're oh, what's that? And they look it up and they go, uteral pain? What does that have to do with your anxiety? I am pretty obsessed in general with this category of disease, which I don't think endometriosis is one of these, but this category of disease that people aren't sure if they're real or not. I don't want to mention any by name because anytime if you go online and you make a joke about specific could they be, are they real, are they not real diseases, that community of people that believe they have that disease, they go fucking ape shit and they're just you're trivializing my pain. So I'm not trying to trivialize anybody's pain. I'm just saying generally I'm obsessed with the idea of hysterical diseases, and there's a whole category. I watched that show Diagnosis on Netflix. It's a New York Times show where this doctor would sort of find people that had diseases that they couldn't figure out what the diagnosis was, and so the doctor would write an article about the symptoms and then put them out to the crowd to crowdsource potential diagnoses, and then it's a great show. It's really interesting and compelling. But one of the most compelling parts of it is there was a couple of subjects. Most of the subjects were just like, I'm desperate, help. And then they'd get the crowdsourced diagnosis and they would go, that does sound like what I have, and take the treatment and often get better, actually. Not always, but often they'd get better. But there's a couple of people in there that were like, here are the symptoms I have. And also, I have a super healthy distrust for the medical community. I don't trust them. And by the way, people that are sick don't trust the medical community for legitimate reasons. But the more paranoid about the medical community the people were, the less likely they were to actually take the treatment. And it led you to believe like, oh, these people are like, they're living in this like Munchausen kind of world. You know what I mean?
Well, they're always tired. Don't all those fake diseases...
They're not fake.
I mean, all the diseases that are sometimes people can't quite... Never mind.
Good idea. Let's do another secret.
Hi guys, love the show. So I just wanted to unload a secret. So a few weeks ago, I got dumped, and he was pretty awful to me. He said and did some really bad things. It was a bad breakup. But little does he know that now I'm dating his best friend. No one knows yet, but can't wait until that comes out. So yeah, just wanted to say that. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, no, you ever thought?
I mean, that's rough.
My first thought here is, who's this best friend? And does he feel like he's just a cog in this woman's revenge fantasy? You know what I mean? Like, how are you really going to convince yourself, like, I just got the sex appeal to be the first stop after her abusive ex-boyfriend that's my best friend? You got to know. You're just being used.
And you're not going to be best friends anymore.
Right. But sometimes it's worth it. Doesn't sound like a nice guy.
I've dated very good friends before, but I waited like 5 years in between.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like it might be okay.
You've dated two men that were very good friends, you're saying.
But not one after the other. There
Not
was like a
immediately
5-year
after.
break.
Right. That's actually being interested. This whole idea, this whole notion of like owning a person because you dated them, I find that so childish. It's so pathetic. That's how you gonna go there, dog? That's my lady. That's my lady. I was in that. I just like,
You don't think that's fucked? So you wouldn't care if I left you for Brent?
I would care if you left me for Brent. Yes. I would care if you left me for a friend, because it's the act of leaving me for a friend that feels like an act of aggression. It doesn't feel like a true expression of who you're attracted to. It feels like you're just leaving me. That's what I'm saying with that last secret. The fact that she's with this guy's ex-boyfriend, best friend 1 month after they broke up, and he was a nasty fucker, that doesn't feel coincidental. That feels like, fuck yeah, I'm going to fucking get you. But if I divorced you, oh God, that just sounds so nice. But anyway, if I divorced you and then 2 years later you were dating my best friend, would I be upset? Sure. Would I have the right to expect that someone else not date you? I don't think so. I don't own you, but I own your memory.
That's so sweet, Moshe. I'm going to start making you carne asada for lunch.
Should we do another secret? Or I have some updates for our last week's secrets.
Okay, why don't you do your updates and then let's take a call.
Okay, sounds good. So a lot of people wrote in about the dilemma that we had, that somebody wrote in about this apartment living next door situation. The secret from last week where the woman had been living next to her next door neighbor for many years. Mm-hmm. They even had like a pretty friendly relationship. But
they had each other's keys.
But she did not know the woman's name. And she was embarrassed and humiliated and didn't know how to get that info.
And she's always like, hey, you.
Hey, you. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Okay, Yas Queen. We had a lot of suggestions. And so I just thought I'd read it. A friend named on Instagram, a fan named Miguela Corsi, writes, "Hi, for the neighbor that didn't know her neighbor homie's name. Why not be like, girl, I got a cool article I want to show you. Add me on Facebook." That's a pretty good idea.
But you already know someone for 3 years and you're like, hey, add me on Facebook.
I got this article I want to share with you and I don't know how to share it.
She'd be like, we are Facebook friends.
Oh, are we? Okay.
It could be.
How do I look you up again? What's your name? Something like that.
Okay, that's not bad.
But I think it's pretty good. Then bam, you got full access to the name, she says. Pretty good. pretty good. She also says she wants to shoot us sometime. And I think she means photography, but it's possible she will kill us. So you heard it here first. Okay. Oh, now that we're doing updates, we got somebody else here for our friend in South Carolina, Cynthia, who was complaining about not having any friends, and all of her friends are having children, and she likes Elizabeth Warren, so she doesn't know who to hang out with. I literally, and this made me so happy, literally had someone on Instagram named Maya Sylvia say, if Cynthia, who called the pod, really wants some cool single friends here, I live in Greenville. I don't know if she can hit me up somehow, but if there's a way social media can help in this one instance, I'd hang out with you. Cynthia, if you're listening, we got a friend.
That's some guy who wants to hang out with her?
No, it's a lady. Her name's Maya.
good.
She seems cool. I'm looking at her right now. She got a really nice smile, and her secondary quote on her Instagram is, "Shake it till the moon becomes the sun." Hey, I think I like this person. You know what? I might hang out with her. Cynthia, if you're not around, yeah. And then she has a link on her Instagram. So just so you know, she's no dummy, Cynthia. She's got a link on her Instagram to an article she wrote called "I love this country, but sometimes I'm not sure where I am. Black immigrant women, sexual violence, and Afro-pessimistic justice in New York versus Strauss-Kahn and Chi Manda Negozi Adiches Americana." Dude, you're going to have some good-ass conversations, Cynthia.
She does sound like someone who I'd want to hang out with.
It's an academic. She likes to shake it till the sun comes up. She knows what Afro-pessimistic justice is. I don't know what that is. I consider myself a pretty smart cookie, and I don't know what... I've never heard of Chimananda Negochi Adiches Americana is. Actually, I'm lying. I did hear about what that is. I think it's a Nigerian writer, and it's supposed to be actually really good. Yeah, so listen. If you're out there, Cynthia, honestly, Cynthia, I think Maya Sylvia might be too much woman for you. I think this might be too high level of a friend. But she seems cool as hell. I'd hang out with her. So if you're out there, get in touch. We'll put you guys together anonymously.
Thanks for those updates, Moshe.
Yeah. We got some other ones, too.
Well, let's address them another time.
Okay, fine.
Let's take a call. Will you intro Nicole in Brooklyn? I will, yeah.
Hold on. Stop. Before we take a call, I found another one. Hi, this is from someone called Jane Rock NYC on Instagram. Hi, Natasha and Moshe. I love your podcast. It's so funny. I've been listening to the one where the girl talks about forgetting her neighbor's name. I had a similar situation, and what I did worked perfectly. I don't know if it matters for me to tell you since it's already aired, but here goes. I just texted the guy saying, this is a really good suggestion. And it's so simple, it boggles the mind that we didn't think of it in the first place. All you have to do is read in Americana by Ngozi. No, she says, I texted the guy saying, hey, I got a new phone. Whose number is this? And he was like, oh, haha. Told the name. And I was like, oh, haha. Thanks. Problem solved. I think that's the solution.
If you got a new phone, that means you still have the same phone number.
Right.
In this instance.
You have to assume that she has her neighbor's phone number and that she's texted her things, but she doesn't have the name in the thing. It's
what if
just
she
number.
writes back, it's me, girl?
Me who? Who is me? No one would ever write back, it's me, girl.
Your neighbor.
Then she knows that the neighbor doesn't know her name and everybody's fucked. All right, let's take a call. Oh, Tosh. Listen, I love underwear so much. I swear to God, I do.
Not as much as you love being naked.
I do like to be naked, but I like a nice underwear. I love it. I love the way it makes me feel safe. And these online underwear companies that I've tried, I was not satisfied until I got sent some underwear from MeUndies.
You like those?
I always thought it was just a British guy talking about his own underwear. I thought he was saying, check out MeUndies. But now I realize it's MeUndies, and they're comfortable and they're awesome.
MeUndies are made with soft, sustainable fabric and available in sizes extra small, your size, Moshe, to 4
That's not my size.
XL.
That's my size. I need a 4XXL pouch in the front.
From black to unicorn, MeUndies prints are made for your self-expression.
They are actually truly very comfortable underwear, and I actually would like them to send me more because I want some new ones. So you can get 15% off your first order, free shipping with 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Just go to MeUndies.com/honeymoon. That's MeUndies. Don't just go to MeUndies. Go to MeUndies.com/honeymoon and get that 15% off your first order. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
What's this?
Water.
I don't see that as a water bottle. I see it as a potential shoe, thanks to Rothy's.
Rothy's are the perfect everyday shoes for your life on the go. They're stylish and comfortable, and they go with everything from yoga pants to dresses, and you can even wear them on the red carpet.
But they're made out of freaking water bottles, man. Water bottles.
They launch new colors and patterns every few weeks, and they sell out constantly.
Totally.
I have my black flat Rothy's.
They look good. Check this out. Watch this. Water in the bottle. Now it's a fucking shoe. Go to rothys.com/honeymoon to get your plastic water bottle shoes. But you won't be able to tell they used to be plastic water bottles because they look dope. Just go to rothys.com/honeymoon and get your new favorite flats.
Comfort, style, and sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for.
Rothy's.
Head to rothys.com/honeymoon today. Now we're going to call Nicole in Brooklyn.
Hello?
Hi, Nicole. It's Natasha Leggero.
And Moshe Kasher.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for calling.
For sure. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
What's Brooklyn like?
Very cold.
You know what I hear? I hear Brooklyn's really got a kind of a scene going on right now. You know?
It's very
yeah, like loft parties, gelato, just like really cool stuff happening there. You should check some of that out.
Thank you. Thank you for the tip. I will.
Nicole,
have
you ever seen the show Girls?
It's so close to my real life. It's wild.
It's kind of a gritty look at that new Brooklyn culture. So I would recommend that as well.
Okay, Nicole, what's going on?
All right, so I have been dating this really great guy for about 9 months, and it's probably the healthiest relationship I've been in ever.
Okay.
And it's my first relationship since my last long-term. And it's his first.
Wait, Nicole,
major
let me stop you right there. You broke up a little bit. You said it's your first relationship since your last long-term what?
Relationship. And it's his first major relationship since his divorce.
Okay.
And which was kind of traumatic.
Right, okay.
But he's been great.
Damn it.
With his feelings. He texts me and calls me throughout the day. He always wants to see me. He's super great. I've met his kids. We make plans for the future. We've gone on vacation together. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
So the problem is that we haven't progressed to the I love you phase. Neither of us have said it.
What?
And it's starting to weird me out.
I got you. Okay.
Wait, no, I guess 9 months, that can happen.
9 months is long.
You and I were like 7 or 8 months, Moshe.
9 months is at the outer reaches of the I love you phase, but it's not in the what the fuck is wrong with you part yet. We're not quite there, but we're getting real close.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's approaching quickly.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a rough stage.
Yeah, the who's going to say it first.
You
God.
You want to know how Moshe and I said it?
Yeah, this could be something. Wait, Nicole, let me ask you before Natasha tells you. Are you Jewish?
I am not, no.
Is he?
No.
This might not help.
So
Oh, God.
basically, I put on fit. Moshe and we used to always come over and watch YouTube together. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, we would show each other videos. And then I showed him from Fiddler on the Roof when the woman's like, do you? No,
Tevye.
Tevia's like, do you love me? And she's like, do I what? He's like, do you love me? And she's like, do I love you? And it's like this whole thing about this whole song. It's really a great song about them telling each other they
I
love
love it. I love it. I
And
love
then
that song.
right after that, Moshe told me he loved me.
Well, actually, but it was made easier. And I ain't no punk, just so you know. Like Nicole, I was just trying to get laid that night. You feel me? But but there was something that made it easier to watch two fictional characters talk about the struggle of saying I love you, that made it a little bit like almost like lubricant, because I had never really told a woman that before in my life. Right. And your guy, he's afraid. He's not in the same boat, but what his boat clearly is, he's afraid to make that big jump because the last person he loved was so heavy and it was so intense. And you probably, I don't want to analyze you, you could tell me yourself, but you're probably afraid, like, because he was in this marriage, this intense thing, like, I don't want to be the person that he has to say that to. So it's all this like unspoken fear on both of your sides about this like phantom of the ex-wife kind of a thing, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and the thing is they got married very, very quickly, and so that weirds me out even more because apparently they got married within like months, like a couple months, and it was like whirlwind. And now, 9 months, I don't know, it's never happened, but it's never been this long before. But 2 boyfriends ago, I told a boyfriend that I loved him, and he didn't say it back to me, and it was one of the worst. he said it. He said it to me 3 months later, but it was the worst 3 months of my life.
Yeah,
it was
that's
agonizing.
pretty rough.
What did he say when you said it?
He said, "Thank you," and I'm not ready to say it yet.
Oh,
That's a roughie. But then 3 months later, he's like, I'm ready.
no, he said it back.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
here's the
it
thing.
was okay, but it was torture, and I don't want the same thing. I really want him to say it first.
Right, but here's the deal. Everybody, unfortunately, life ain't fair, and you get the dish that you ordered. And the dish that you ordered in this particular situation was a man who, though probably does love you, has had some recent trauma around the subject of love and commitment, and it seems like he's down to commit and do all the actions, but I just think you're going to be better off not waiting for the divorcee with PTSD to say I love you.
You think she should say it first?
I think so. I think you should lay out the carpet for him because he's the one that's enfeebled. Like, your little petty trauma about the guy not saying I love you for 3 months doesn't really compare to these like traumatic 2-term.
How do you know this guy is so traumatized?
That's what she said.
Oh.
No, he said it was the worst thing that's ever happened to him, and he still carries a lot of anger and resentment about it, which also worries me a little bit. But
that's like, more worrisome.
I would prefer she found a way to hint at it.
Like what?
Well, so
like the video I said. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. So there's this another little funny thing that happened. So I came over to his house one night, but it was after he had his kids for the weekend. I came over to his house, and on his bedroom door was written the words "Love you" in like yellow paint, and I just pretended to not see it because I don't know what that is, because it could have been in relation to his kids. But why? It's the weirdest
Now
thing.
you have the perfect thing. Now you can come up to him and say,
100%.
honey, I just want to know, last week when I saw the yellow, was that meant for me?
Totally.
It's okay if it wasn't.
Totally.
And then he can be
God.
like, because would you rather do that or do what Moshe said, be in the moment and say, I love you?
Right. I'm with
don't know.
Natasha.
Because then if you flirt about it and try to make it into a joke, then he can say, yeah, that was actually for my children. That was not meant for you. And then you can be like, okay, cool.
That's exactly right. Like, when I can speak for myself. When I was with Natasha and I knew that I had fallen in love with her, I was also so emotionally crippled from being single for so long that I was like, God, I don't know how to do it without it being corny or without it being, I just didn't. So I was kind of like looking for the moment, the excuse. And then all of a sudden she put on this Tevia thing and I was like, well, this'll do. I was like, this is my window. And it sounds like this love you on the door.
25 years I've cooked for you, cleaned your clothes, washed your blah.
That's what I wanted. And
if for 25 years, if that's not love, what is? Do I love you? I guess I do. Yeah, that's how it went.
That kind of a
Thank
thing.
you.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure everyone understood.
Natasha Leggero,
how
ladies and
stupid
gentlemen.
My hint was.
But that was your hint? You put it on for me?
I don't remember, probably.
Well, at any rate, this yellow writing on the door is perfect. You have it. There's two possibilities. One is that he put it there for you, and in which case he's already done it, and everything's easy, and then you can start saying I love you all the time. Two is he didn't put it on there for you, but he's put it up so you can have a conversation about the words I love you, which will then make it possible for you guys to start saying it to each other. And the third possibility is he didn't put it up there for you. You have the conversation. He's like, I won't put it up for you. I don't love you. I need 5 more months. And then you're like, this is really awkward. But you have 2 out of 3 of the options are good options.
Okay.
You can do it. You can do it.
Bring it up. Bring up the yellow.
It all feels so contrived every time I think about it.
Well, it is contrived. That's the thing about relationships and love is that these rituals, this is how I think about contrivance, because for me, as Natasha, what do you call it? My biggest fear?
What?
Fear of?
Your fear?
Yeah.
Missing out?
Fear of being...
Basic?
Yeah, fear of being basic. That's what Natasha's always roasting me about. And there's nothing that makes you feel more basic than when you're going through human being life rituals, right? They all feel just like, what am I, just on a conveyor belt of experiences? Like, I date you for 4 months, then I say I love you, then we date for 2 years, then I say, will you marry me? Then we get married, then I say, let's go on a honeymoon, then we go on a honeymoon, then I say, let's have kids, then we have kids, then I say I have cancer, then I die. I mean, it just feels like, God, is this all life is? But the other way to think of those kinds of cliches of humanity isn't this beautiful? Human beings are a creature, an animal, a beast, a spirit that has these ways of signifying our intimacy and connection to another person. And like by being contrived in this way, I am being the most human a human being can be. I am saying, I, human being alone in the world, have found you, human being alone in the world, and two have become one. I will write on this wall, I love you.
Love ya. Okay, well, good luck. I think it's going to work out, and I think in 2 weeks this whole situation will be over.
I agree. Will you write our producer and tell us how it goes? Maybe we can call you back and see after you have the conversation.
I will. Yes. Thank you so much.
And check out Girls. Honestly, it's gritty. It's real. It's what real people are like in Brooklyn. Real white people, anyway.
I'll check it out. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. Good luck.
All right. Bye. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, there's so much pressure on this stupid turn of phrase. And then once you start saying it, it just becomes as easy as this. Hey, Tosh.
Yeah, Moshe.
Love ya.
Love you too.